Green. People have been asking me about Jalen Green. You've seen this guy. He's one of the top 5 players in his class, which is 2020. He's 16 years old. One of the top 5 players in America for his age. He came to the Philippines and played in the national high school tournament and put on a show. Obviously talented guy. Don't know what his paperwork situation is. Don't know if we can get him a passport. But if we can get him a passport, that would be something that in the future could definitely help the Gilas program. He would be he's ranked really high. I've seen video of him. People are comparing him to Kobe Bryant. He's 6'6", 6'7", very athletic. He's a guard. He can handle it. In the last month, we've talked about Kai Sotto. We've talked about Kobe Paras. And I just want to reemphasize this. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. Minor rant. But when you want to talk about the NBA, an NBA prospect, Jalen Green is an NBA prospect. If you had a chance to see him or you saw any highlights, you saw his dunk contest. Like the dunk contest is one thing, fine. But we saw him play. He put up 50 points in a game. We saw him smash on Kai Sotto. He's a dominant player. That's an NBA prospect when you're talking NBA. I'm so happy he came to the country. It was great for fans to see what a player like that looks like. Now, he's 16. He's got a ways to go. He's not a lock for the NBA. We don't know. A lot of things can happen in the next few years. But that's what an NBA prospect looks like. One thing I wanted to talk about, too, is Kai Sotto. If you guys saw, highlight was everywhere. I saw it on Facebook. I watched the replay 10 times. Jalen Green in the All-Star game, I believe, went down the lane, and Kai Sotto went to block his shot, and Jalen Green went over the top of him and smashed it on his head. This is what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is why I said earlier, I don't know what the plan is, but definitely the plan should be Kai Sotto needs to take part in the AAU circuit in major camps in the United States of America. Another thing to consider is maybe put him in a club in Europe. If you're just talking basketball situation. Why? Because Jalen Green is one of the best players in his class. If he gets on a team and is able to play in the AAU circuit in the States and go to these couple major camps that he can get in because of his size and because of his reputation, he can get it, despite not playing high school basketball in the States, he can get into these camps, be seen, play against competition. The main thing is he's going to, going to these camps, going to these tournaments, he is going to play against guys. There will be multiple guys on the court that are going to be able to do what Jalen Green did in that particular play. Now, are they all going to be as good as Jalen Green? No, because he's one of the top players in his class. He will be a junior next year. We're talking class of 2020. I believe that's the same class as Kai Sotto. I believe they're very close to the same age. They might not be as good as Jalen Green, but there will be athletes that will be able to get above the rim, and if you're not careful, get dunked on. He will play against legitimate size, guys that are 6'8", 6'9", and above, that are athletic, that can also do that to him. Can anybody do that to him in the UAAP juniors? No. Can anybody do that to him in the UAAP seniors? Mbala's not there anymore. Maybe one or two guys in the whole league, maybe. In that particular play, one, it was just a great play. But two, in the UAAP juniors, the guy gets a shot blocked or he misses 9 out of 10 times on that exact play if a player's coming right at him. And that's good enough for that level of play. But if you're playing against better competition, better athletes with better size, you can't come over and expect to block that shot. What's that going to make him do? That happens a couple of times. Well, you got to get there earlier. You can't meet him at the rim. You got to get there. It helps your positional defense. It sharpens your skill. You're not going to be able to do that against better competition. Come over late and block a shot. It was a hell of an athletic play, all right? But what I'm saying is in order for him to stop that from happening, what does he have to do? He has to be a little bit more aware of what's going on. The guy had a full running start, and he's got to meet him earlier. Why? Because he's going to have to make a move now. You get there earlier to defend, because you're not always going to be able to block or alter everyone's shot. Now, you do need to be a rim protector. I'm glad that he did challenge him, but there are things that you have to figure out when you're playing against better competition that you will not figure out playing against inferior, smaller competition. In just a basketball perspective, he needs to play against more, bigger, better athletes / basketball players on a consistent level if you want him to develop through his potential. He will learn things in particular on defense. Offensively, he will figure things out that he won't have to figure out at the UAAP juniors level. Just won't. He'll be able to get by, and I'm tall and I'm bigger than everybody else. I definitely understand the MVP group has dug in their talons, dug in hard, and they want to keep him here. They want to keep him playing for Enteneo. I get that, and they can help out his family. I don't know what his family situation is. The MVP group is one of the most powerful groups in the country. You want to have a good relationship with him. I understand all these factors. Those are factors definitely to consider. But if I'm talking about just from a basketball perspective, that's why I stated a couple years ago, his development is very important. If you're just talking about basketball development, they need to strongly consider stepping it up. And if Chooks to Go is in charge of that, great. If his parents are in charge of that, great. But these years, like I said, a lot of things can happen between 16 and 19, 15 and 19, 14 and 19. Those are huge years. What you're doing is you're forming the basketball DNA of the player, what they will be in their 20s. You're forming that in between the ages of 14 and 19. And if some things don't form and there's a disconnect, some things will not be learned later. Because basketball is a very fast-paced, instinctual game that once you learn things, they become instincts. Once you get habits, they become habits. And that are, like any habit, hard to start, hard to break, whether it be good or bad. The Jalen Green versus Kai Sotto thing, that one play was a prime example of what I've always been talking about. And like I always say, I'm not hating on the guy. I'm not hating on the people around him. We wish him the best. We want him to fulfill his potential. That's all we want. That's all I want. And I'm rooting for him. Just like I'm rooting for Kobe Paras. But there's a difference. The NBA, you're talking NBA, you're looking at Jalen Green. That's an NBA prospect. And that play was a good example of what I've been talking about. Anyway. Thanks for watching. You can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face right here. Don't forget to check out the important links in the description below. And for more Staying Major, click on the video over there. We'll see you next time.